Okay, and this is where we need to study the emergence of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Okay, so this is now the third, one of the major signs. There's other signs, there's 10 of them. And there's other signs as well, but of the major ones that we're concerned with, the emergence of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. And according to many Arabic-speaking people, that this is a rough term in terms of its meaning and even pronunciation. And according to some scholars, it comes from ujaj, which means to be dry and harsh, something that's harsh. Also al-aj, because when the enemy is attacking rapidly in a way that you can't defend yourself. And so they are people, we hear different things about them, okay? But they're human beings. So if you look at some of these points, these are some of the key points to take notes of and think about it. The emergence of the hour, of course, in chapter 21, 96, 97, Surah Al-Anbiya, and then Surah Al-Kahf. So now, the chapter of the cave. This is the crucial chapter, dealing with the signs of the last Dajjal. We already found out that we need to read that chapter on Jumu'ah, at least the first 10 ayahs and the last 10 from Surah Al-Kahf. Okay, so especially between 93, verse 93 to 99. Now, in terms of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, there's a lot of superstition, there's a lot of stories about this group, but we believe that they are descendants of Adam alayhi salam. They're human beings. Okay, so they're not elves or some kind of aliens or some other creatures, but they're human beings. And they are destined to go into the fire in huge numbers. Okay, and they're blocked by a person by the name of Dhul Qarnayn. Okay, these are some of the famous things that you'll hear coming out with them. Now, just look at the Christian concept now. In Revelations is where they deal with the signs of the last days. So anytime you talk to a Christian, if they start talking about the apocalypse and end of time, they'll go to the section called Revelations. So in the Revelation to John 27 to 10, the names Gog and Magog, right? So Ya'juj and Ma'juj. So they say Gog and Magog. So these are applied to the evil forces that will join with Satan in the great struggle at the end of time. So that's their concept now. After Satan has been bound and chained for 1,000 years. But look at this bound and chained, right? That sounds like Dajjal, right? Remember Tamim ad-Dari's story that he's chained. After bound and chained for 1,000 years, he will be released and will rise up against God. He will go forth and deceive the nations of the world, Gog and Magog, gathering them together in great numbers to attack the saints and Jerusalem, the city God loves. God will send fire from heaven to destroy them and will then preside over the last judgment. So the Christian concept comes in, see? But the players are there. And if you look up Gog and Magog, you're going to see a lot of stories about it. Even some people believe that Gog and Magog is like some of the, Gog especially is one of the European tribes, that they're actually Europeans. And you'll get a lot of different understandings. But we believe that these names coming from, that they're a dry, harsh people, and they will, they attack. Their ability to attack is like nothing that ever existed before. And they existed, according to our understanding, and Allah knows best, in ancient times, probably around the time of Musa alayhi salam. So I've read scholars who say it's probably around the time of Musa that you actually get this story about them coming out. Okay? And when you speak about them, you talk about high mountains. Okay, so Allah knows best, but it appears that these mountains would be either the high level of the Himalayas, okay, that's Nepal and all those areas, Mount Everest, or northern Russia, northern Russia going toward the North Pole. So there's huge mountain chains up there. And when you reach the top of these mountain chains, when you go, for instance, to the top of Mount Everest, and you can see people have taken pictures from around there, there's actually valleys that are there. It's a huge territory that's around there, but nobody goes up there because it is so cold most of the time of the year, you can't even go near it. So there's literally valleys, and there's enough area to be countries, because Russia had the largest landmass in the world. Okay, so it's somewhere in those high areas, we believe, that this tribe actually lived.